Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along Thursday night, another live stream, and it is the final round of the WEC-Xperience online championship here for this season. We are hoping that we can close out this season with a fairly good result, but practice has not been going particularly well. I mean, it's going okay. I just don't feel fast, and I don't feel 100% happy and comfortable in the car. Feels a little bit snappy in a couple of little places. We are kind of getting there with the setup and help settling it down. But I'm not coming into this race with too much confidence. That's for sure. So we shall see how this ends up actually playing out and unfolding. And hopefully we can have ourselves a good one here and try and get somewhere in the top 10. But there's a lot of GT3s. A lot of GT3s in here. 38 of us, in fact. No, that can't be right. There's 38 of us in total. There's 23 of us GT3s. 23 GT3s, so 15 hypercars in this split. And usually around Qatar, I'm driving the hypercar, or at least that's what I've been doing in the past. It's the first time driving this circuit in the GT3 cars with the hypercars coming through, acting as the faster class, bullying us, which I'm not really looking forward to because practice there were some questionable moves, some questionable sends in a couple of spots. Either way, hope you're all good. Good to see you here, Asturbo, and everyone else who's tuning in onto the live stream. Hope you're all having a fantastic evening so far. Hopefully you're getting yourselves nice and comfortable, ready for this race. I appreciate you being here, so thank you very much. Give the live stream a like. Hopefully we can get some new people, and there will be tomorrow a video releasing. Yes, been uploaded today, ready to go for tomorrow. So kind of getting my ass in gear a little bit and getting a video out there. We're about a minute away from practice, so I'm just going to double check the last few things for that qualifying session. Need to double check. Fuel. How much fuel I'm using in this to figure out how much fuel I'm actually going to need to take for my qualifying. Okay, got an idea. It's good. Now, you figure out how many laps I actually want to do, including the out lap. So bear with me whilst I do some mental gymnastics inside my head, trying to figure things out. That's going to give me 4 laps. We'll go with that amount. I know it doesn't help you guys, but it's helping me mentally, that's for sure. Right, qualifying's just gone live, so let's bring the screen up so you ladies and gents can see it as well. And I think we are good to go. We are going to not struggle, but we have the whole thing of only having 6 tyres here in this, so we've got to be very, very cautious with the tyres to not burn through them and destroy them in our actual qualifying session. There's a reasonable amount of cars heading out onto the circuit already, so a very quick check. And we'll get ourselves heading out onto the circuit. Now, this car isn't particularly the strongest around here. The Lamborghinis seem to be very, very good. Someone's doing crazy lap times. They picked themselves into the 1 minute 54s, which is actually pretty mental. I've seen mid and low 56s. You can get a low 57 into the high 56s. I think I'll be fairly happy. I think. It all depends on where we actually end up in terms of position with regards to everyone else. But until then, we just need to build up the temperature in the tyres, because they start off pretty cold here, and it feels like there is absolutely zero grip around this track when the tyres are cold. So there'll probably be a couple of build laps before we start pushing it a little bit more. So the other thing I need to do is not destroy the tyres. We want to try and preserve these for the actual race, and look how much understeer there actually is. So we'll take it nice and smooth. Try and keep the tyre life there in them, ready for the race. There's a few people in here that I recognise. Moorhead, of course. Malinowski is another name that we can see there. Jardier is in here. Darren King, i.e. Dow King, is in here. Oliver Fennell, i.e. Basic Ollie, is also racing here in this tonight. So, quite a few people that I recognise, quite a few names that I want to kind of target and try and beat if we can. Some of those will be difficult, but we'll see what we can do nonetheless. And this is the other thing with this circuit. These gravel tracks being very close to the outside exit curbs, very easy to dip your wheels into those. Track limits is also on strict here in this championship, so you can't get away with pushing the track limits too hard. Otherwise, we're going to start invalidating laps. We're going to start picking up track limits penalties. Nonetheless, let's try and build a bit more temperature in the tyres. Still far from ideal at the moment. So we are still going to take it very, very easy here on this this next lap, until there is some more temperature in them. Kind of what I'm thinking, as you can see, is probably 2 or 3 sort of like build laps and then a couple of push laps at the end, and hope that we can get ourselves in a decent spot. Because even now, still the tyres aren't up to temperature yet. I know I've not been pushing 100%, but still under what I want in the tyres. Someone doing a 57.3 already. Trying to at least beat that by the end of the session. I haven't actually done any quali runs in practice, so don't know what my ultimate pace is going to be. I think it was a 58.2 is what I did on race fuel. Expecting the leaders to be quite a bit quicker than that. There you go, 56.2 for Malinowski. I imagine he is probably going to be the one who ends up taking pole. Looks like there's a couple of other drivers as well who are also taking it very, very easy. For the first few laps, just trying to build temperature in the tyres. Starting to get there a bit. Still quite a bit off. A lot of curb usage in this race around this track, as you can probably tell and hear. the moment the car balance feels pretty good. I have made some changes to the car's setup that I hadn't really got a proper opportunity to test. Some last minute changes. So I'm hoping they will help us out here. Right, let's start to push a little bit more now for these next 2 laps. Okay, so we're in and around top 10, which is good, and there's definitely time to be found as well. As we can see. Steady. It's annoyingly quite easy to do in a couple of spots around this track. Now we've invalidated the lap there. It's cutting a little bit too much off the inside. So we'll only get one more shot at this. Just trying to protect the tyre a little bit more coming through these corners here. It's not to take unnecessary tyre life out of them. Right. One more shot. Nice wide entry, try and straighten up the exit. Let's go. A little bit more rotation there than what I wanted, but it's not too bad at the moment. .56.8 in order to get into the top 10. Could have carried more speed there. Okay, this is going to be an improvement, but not into the top 10. We are in front of Ollie, which is quite nice, but we're going to be starting alongside them. Right, I'm going to go to BRB.
drivers go to the grid for a race start.
Sorry, Ass Turbo. Okay, there is another Mercedes up there, MP2. I was just about to say, it's not surprising that the top 10 is full of mid and rear engine cars. Definitely a circuit that suits them. Right. Let's get that sorted. We're going with that strategy. Should be good. Ready to go. Do that. Boom. On the grid. And we're all set and ready. Indeed. Yeah, it's still disconnected. To be fair, I haven't had a proper look at it to see what is actually going on. So I do apologise if and when you guys hear it, but it's not causing me any actual issues. Right. Here we go. An hour and 40 minutes. This is going to be a tough race. I'm expecting a bit of chaos with this. Alright, pause the music. Get that green light.
Green flag, green flag.
There it is. Oh, I missed a shift. That's very costly. Oh, we're up the inside of some people. 3 wide up in front. And then we gained 1 place. Despite the slightly slower start. Oh, that's another. Yes, indeed, a hypercar spun off. Another yellow flag. Try and hold on to the cars in front whilst coming under pressure from the cars behind. Oh my god. That was a huge snap. I was hoping we were going to avoid hitting the wall there, but that... yeah, it was a big snap there. And great, we got quite a bit of suspension damage. Oh, and flat spots. That's really annoying and really quite unfortunate because that suspension damage is really quite bad and awkward. After what was quite a good first half a lap as well. Questions are running through my mind now as to what to do. So I imagine this repair time on this suspension is going to be quite substantial. And getting that fixed, we're going to lose a lot of time. Whilst we're gaining time on people at the moment, it's going to be quite hard to maintain that pace, and it's difficult to judge. It's difficult to judge cornering. And if the car snaps, it's going to be pretty much impossible to save and judge accurately. So, what do you guys reckon? You reckon pit repair damage and just go, or is this race now pretty much a dud? So I don't know how many places I'm going to end up gaining. So repair time's going to be long. I reckon over a minute. Yeah, I'm just going to end up eating tyres driving like this, because whenever the car slides, I can't judge what it's doing, how much it's going to slide and all that sort of thing. Right, I'm going to pit this lap. Oh. Shifted down one too many gears. Alright, let's see how bad this is. "47 seconds. Really not ideal. We might be able to get some positions or two, but I'd be surprised if I end up in the top 15 by the end of the race. Super frustrating, that was. It's kind of made worse by the fact that are going to be coming out not too far ahead of the pack. They're just going to end up catching me pretty quickly, and well, holding on then is going to be so damn difficult. Not all my tyres are fully up to temperature, whereas theirs probably now are. And they're doing 55.6s. Feels strange now having normal steering. You'll be pin again with the 40-minute remaining mark, yeah. It's pretty much a straight push all the way and pit stop in the middle. Look how much they've got. I mean, I know I went and refueled the car again, so that's probably not helping, but just the pace that they're going to have. I'm going to get swamped and eaten up here. Get out of your way then. Not the best of ways to do it, but been impeding too much now. I've got to try and close in on everyone else. Not lose further time. Got that outside tire spinning up a little bit there. Alright, 58.3, that's good healthy gains over everyone up to P17. But we are, of course, a minute and 25 seconds behind them all. Of course, hypercars being hyper hassling their way through. And again. Yep. I say this circuit's fun in a hypercar, it's not fun in the GT3. It's terrifying. Again. Same spot. As long as you're not getting hassled by other classes. Yeah. So, just driving GT3s around here isn't too bad. It's a very technical circuit drive. Once you kind of learn it, it is quite fun. But yeah, the hypercars are so reluctant to lose any time at all, and they will just make silly dives on you in places. It's frustrating as to how easy that is to happen. The good thing is the vibrations from the flat spots have calmed down. Not as bad as they once were. But we are a long way behind. On throttle way too early. Yeah, the other cars in front are starting to settle into a bit of a flowing rhythm now. Setting reasonable lap times. Here comes Radio. Right, I'll let Shadia go here. Yeah, race done. We weren't really getting anywhere with that. It's just frustrating, but sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. It's just a frustrating mistake from the start. So let's take a look. Yeah, it might have been improving, but that was just kind of fuel load. I think I kind of made the mistake earlier of doing a workout session. So my arms and shoulders and my tendons are a little tight and a little bit sore, and turning and sustaining the steering load through these corners, especially in that final sector, is it's having a little bit of an impact already. It's starting to make my arms hurt more. And whilst I would have got up with it in a normal racing situation, when you're at the back of the grid by 1 minute and 15 seconds off and only really gaining at a second per lap, and the race is going to be 52, maybe 53 laps in total, it's not going to be enough to close in on the cars in front. So we're just driving for the sake of driving, effectively. Wasn't going to really achieve anything, and it's basically just hoping that other people have mistakes. But yeah, not the best of starts initially. We missed the shift from first into second, but here in turn one, things kind of opened up for us nicely, and we picked up one position there on the Corvette. Almost had the Mercedes at that point as well. The Mercedes runs wide a little bit here, which opens up this this inner channel, dips the wheels on the gravel, which sends them out well wide and gives us the opportunity to slip through here. Have to go defensive though, just because they got a good run off the corner. And then yeah, we're maintaining reasonable pace and positioning. I could tell that this car is just working a lot better than mine already, and I have a bit of a sniff here in this corner, which was slightly distracting. So what he was trying to achieve did work, but the car just broke loose early. I think it might be in a mix between a little bit too much braking input here, braking a little bit earlier, sorry, later than I would like to, because the guy behind kind of distracted me a little bit. I will hold my hand up there and admit that I made a mistake here, but I think also the downshift probably compounded the effect. And yeah, the car's loose already, as you can see, and then it just snaps back in the other direction. And then yeah, that's a big whack on the rear. Surprisingly, it was the front that I got damage for, even though it was the rear of the car that went in first. Yeah, so even though the rear took the majority of the hit, yes, it did pick up rear bodywork damage. But I was expecting rear suspension damage from that as well, but it was only front end suspension. And then yeah, it was going to be tricky after that. Looks like the rotation in the Aston wasn't as good as other cars around you. Yeah, the mid-engine cars are really, really good through this sector alone. Just the way that the cars, where you got that weight on the rear, you can kind of float the car in on entry and get that nice little bit of rotation that the mid-engine cars provide, and then obviously use the accelerator to squat the rear again. Whereas you don't really get that with the front engine cars. You're kind of trying to work with the setup and trying to get the car to rotate, but then it doesn't. You don't have that quite that same powerful effect, and it's very easy to create too much rotation in the rear, and it become snappy and unstable. To be fair, I hadn't put a huge amount of practice in for this race, so I never really quite got comfortable with a setup that I was happy with, where it had that balance of having rotation, but not too much, and having it in the right places as well. Because later on in the race, this corner here that we're going through right now, this long right-hander, turn 7. Nope, this is turn 1. Accelerate on through. But like, as we were going through the laps, this corner was starting to become a little bit more tricky to get through without having to sacrifice too much, as you can see. This one was still alright, but this corner here, this was just becoming more and more tricky. We're just getting more and more understeer in the mid-corner and on-corner exit, as you can see. The rear is not rotating as much as I want, but I try and put more rotation in it. It felt like there was too much free rotation, and in other places then making the rear of the car snappy. And then yeah, on exit, we weren't really quite getting the drive off that I was looking for. This corner's generally fine. This one's always a tricky corner because it makes you think at this point when you get to the apex you can just get on the throttle and go, but you can't, because the exit tightens up a little bit more before it then opens. So it's very easy to run out onto this outside curb, which is quite aggressive as well. If you end up straddling it quite often, you end up going straight, and the off-track areas at Qatar and Bahrain are very, very slippery. And then yeah, just felt like perhaps too much downforce in these sort of corners. You get good initial turning, and then you just get to the mid corner and the exit, and the car just becomes lazy and wants to understeer. It's a big thing that I've noticed with the Aston here in this season. Some tracks it's quite good. Like Le Mans, I felt really good and comfortable with it. Interlagos didn't feel too bad. I think qualifying just let me down there. Spa, it felt pretty good at. Just other circuits, it really, really struggled. But yeah, that's unfortunately going to be it for this evening, which is a real shame. And as you can probably guess, I'm not going to upload the setup for this circuit onto Ultimate Setup Hub after this race. It's not worth. It's not worth. I might try and redo this race again on Sunday. It depends on how much time I actually have during the day. We shall see on that. But we do have a video coming out tomorrow. which would be good. And it's quite an educational one. And hopefully you guys and girls will find it useful and helpful. Hopefully it will help you all improve lap times, getting pace in various racing sims and things like that. I will take a very quick look just to see if there are any other races and events going on in terms of the weekly stuff, which is worth doing. I don't really want to do Fuji, that's today. And tomorrow is Le Mans. And there's no special events this weekend, I don't think. No, that's not really anything that tickles my fancy there. So yeah, I'm gonna call it for this evening. Just having a look through the list of the various other races and things that we could do, which is a real shame and a real bummer. If I do end up doing the race on Sunday, I'll make sure to try and live stream it so you all can tune in, and hopefully we'll have a much better time and well, much better than we did this evening. Either way, I appreciate you all for coming in this evening. I apologise that it's such a short stream and it's very short-lived, but nonetheless, I appreciate the support and all that sort of stuff, and I hope that you have a good rest of the week. Until the next time, have fun, stay safe, take care.